Hey friends, Michael Kingswood. Story time, but also time for the deep dive. Those of you who missed it, and why shouldn't you have missed it? Because I haven't posted it yet. Will know that I just finished recording Story Saturday for this weekend. Story Saturday, as you may or may not know, is where I read a story that I wrote on Saturdays. Hence the title. Holy smokes, that's really creative, right? So we're going through this collection of stories from the Great Challenge that I wrote. It is a compilation of 52 stories that I wrote over the course of a year. I did a challenge to write a story a week over a year, and in fact, I crushed it. I did like 54 stories over that year, and I put them all together in this really thick collection of books that you can get from michaelkingswood.com/store anytime you want. You can also go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, all those other places, but it's better to come to me for them. Anyway, just finished recording this week's latest story, story number 33 from that challenge, and yeah, feeling good. So I figured it was time to come on and do a little deep dive, talk through some things, and hey, it's been an interesting couple of days. In the world of the Kingswood abode, it's been pretty normal. Driving around, doing my Uber thing, making money, doing dad thing, taking care of kids, my writing thing, getting things recorded, getting other writing stuff done. But in the bigger world at large, it's been kind of funny in a lot of ways. Funny and serious too. I mean, election season is always a serious time. How serious, I guess, depends on your outlook on life and what you're hoping to get out of it. But it was Tuesday night was interesting. As I did a stream Tuesday, but I cut it off very quick because I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna watch election coverage on various streams because it's always fun to watch. And thus the subject of this stream is the election and gaslighting, because all of you who are paying attention going into this election were like, yes, the red wave is incoming. The Republicans are going to kick butt. They're going to kick everybody out, and holy smokes, it's going to be a huge thing. And red wave, right? And that sort of happened, right? If you look at here, let me pull this up. This is where it currently stands, according to Fox News. And screw you if you don't like that I'm pulling up Fox News. It's just the easiest one, right? Okay, so it looks like the R's are gonna take the House, and there's a good chance that the R's are gonna end up taking the Senate, right? I mean, hell, they're already talking on the R side of the aisle about who's gonna be the speaker, and for all intents and purposes, the D side is pretty much seems to be conceding that they're gonna not have control of the Senate. I mean, at this point, it looks like it's going to be red sweeping both houses of Congress. Right? Okay. And yet, it's being portrayed everywhere as though it was a great big failure. Let me show you another thing here. Excuse me. It's been portrayed as a great big failure. Let me show you this from the president. We lost fewer seats in the House than any other Democrat president in the last 40 years. I mean, the best midterms for governors since '86. American people spoke. We won. Everybody else, all the other people on his side are like, yay, we won. Hoo-yah. Screw you, red guys, no red wave. And yeah, you guys suck. And all the other things, sort of things you would expect from partisan stuff. And yet, both houses of Congress are swapping. Swapping both houses of Congress. Obviously, not all the counting's done yet because Nevada and Arizona are being third world style jackasses about it. mean, I was a kid in the 80s and then, teenager in the 90s. Everything was always counted the day of, unless there was a runoff. It was before internet and electronic things, and everything was so much. It was harder to do then, but managed to do it on the day of. Oh, and we did it on the day of every time, unless there was a runoff, unless it was so close. There's going to be a runoff every time up until 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden it takes days. When third world cesspools can do this in a day, and somehow the United States can't. I call shenanigans. Right? Big old shenanigans going down there with if you can't get this stuff counted, here it is 2 days later. You can't get it counted. Yeah, Nevada, Arizona, you guys suck and you're corrupt. I call shenanigans. But leaving that aside, if the trends continue the way they look like it's going to continue, both houses of Congress flips. Every other election I've seen, if you have the houses of Congress flip away from the party that has the presidency, that would be called a shellacking. It'd be called a big old defeat. It'd be called a, especially if the president was a Republican, it'd be called a big old defeat. Everything horrible. It's a referendum on the president, and he sucks. He lost power. Huge defeat. Oh, what's he going to do? But not this time. Next time it's, yeah, we won. We lost less than we thought we would, so we won. And how is this possible? I would submit it's because of the press leading up to the election. I mean, think about it, right? For a couple weeks, for weeks at a time, it was like red wave. They're gonna huge tracts of land, huge defeats. They take everything, and making it sound like the R's were gonna get, I don't know, 80 extra House seats and 20 extra Senate seats. I'm not, they weren't really saying that. I'm just extrapolating and using hyperbole here, but yeah, what I'm saying, there was broadcasts all through the broadcast media and all the pundits everywhere, and even on to the pundits on YouTube and then the podcast channels and everything else were saying red wave, and now there's a smaller red wave, right? Still taking both houses. Again, assuming the trend continues the way it is and they can't find a way to cheat in these last couple of places like they obviously cheated in Pennsylvania. Sorry. Assuming that doesn't happen, that's a victory. But yet it's being couched as a defeat because of gaslighting. Gaslighting from the media, which is what always happens, which is yet another thing of everything being fake. It's been talked about in multiple places before. But yesterday, I think, over on the dark stream, Vox talked about everything's fake, and other people have talked about that sort of thing too. How you can't trust anything any big talking head says, which is cynical, but also historically bears true. But but how else can you explain this spin? I mean, look at this tweet from the president. Right? I mean, we lost fewer seats than in the last 40 years. That best midterms for governors. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, all the Democrat incumbent governors won, but you gotta take in mind the previous election where they got shellacked. Well, the previous two elections where they got shellacked, and they have fewer governors than they have in like 50 years. And it's like, oh, we didn't lose any more. Okay, cool, but you're still you still got shellacked before, and now I saw a tweet comparing his press conference to Trump's in 2018, And well, his press conference is so much better. And it's like, okay, well, granted, but there, everybody in the room was trying to get Trump to fail in 2018. Everybody in the room is trying to prop him up now, right? So it's, but at the same time, Trump's, little thing in 2018 was kind of, his statements was kind of pathetic. I mean, I was more than a little Q-tarded for a while. And but yeah, he was, but Trump was doing the whoo you whoo, and Q was going whoo hoo hoo all of 2018, and then it happened the way it happened, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, the Senate was the target all along. It's like, no, it wasn't. You stop, stop with your copium. You're just trying to spin this now, and Trump like, oh yeah, we got the most great investigative body in the Senate. It's like, okay, well that didn't do much for you. Um, so his trying to do spin copium in 2018, frankly, at the time I thought was kind of weak, and retrospect was pathetic. But at least there was some substance to it, because they actually got a little, if memory serves, they lost the House, but they gained in the Senate. In this case, if this time, if trends continue the way they're looking, he's going to have lost both houses. But he's like, oh yeah, but we could have lost worse. So therefore we won. It's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. You lost. I mean, it's all fake spin. Which, okay, well, that's what you expect from politicians. But it's like, come on. And what do you think, we're born yesterday? And given a lot of the populists, I guess I can forgive them for thinking they were. But I mean, it's fascinating to watch, and a little depressing, and more than a little amusing to see the spin in action. Like, seeing how many people buy it. It's like, guys. But the most jacked up part is watching. Yeah, I can understand the Dem side. They're like, oh yeah, we're still cool. But on the our side, dude, you took both houses, man. You crushed it. You didn't crush it as hard as the media goons said you were going to, but did you ever believe them to begin with? You shouldn't have. Though we all did. But now all the official R's are like, oh man, how did we do so bad? Oh gosh. Oh, we need to reevaluate everything. Oh yeah, we shouldn't have gone so hard on abortion. Or I saw, was it Kurt Schilling? Schilling, Schlichter, whatever the guy's name is. He's like, man, GOP needs to embrace voting by mail from now on. It's like, no, otherwise, because we've lost so bad this time. No, we didn't lose. You didn't lose that bad. And why would you embrace that which is causing you to lose more? It's as though people have no concept of proportionality and no concept of how to actually evaluate what's happened. Because by any actual objective metric, if you are going, if you're the out of party part, if you're the out of power party, and you've got this going on, and it looks like you had neither house, and you're going to have both houses once everything resolves, how can you call that a loss? Except that it was spun ahead of time that it was going to be this huge crushing thing. And now all of a sudden, it's not the huge crushing thing. It's the, moderate crushing thing where you now have power. But oh gosh, we should have so much more. Well, wait, woe is us. We didn't win as much as we thought. And the other side is saying, oh, we didn't lose as much as we thought we would. We won. It's like, and now you're crying about it? Now the R's are crying. Oh, wait, we suck. It's like, dude, you won. What the hell's wrong with you? Again, gaslighting. Everything's gaslighting all the time, apparently, especially when it comes to elections. So, I just find that interesting and amusing, frankly. So figured I'd talk that through because I haven't seen very many people taking, not to ring my own bell here, but I haven't seen that many people taking that perspective on it. It's like, dude, look at what actually happened. If you're on the R side, it was a good night. Not as good as you were told to expect, but you were told to expect that by liars who you know are liars. So, what the hell? Why? Why are you disappointed? Anyway, it is what it is. We'll see how things turn out once the dust settles. Maybe the trends will not continue and they won't end up having one either house, in which case I will now sit here with egg on my face looking like a moron, even more than I normally do. But assuming it doesn't, assuming it turns out, the trend turns out the way it looks like it's gonna, I guess it shows the power of media propaganda, because it's objectively a good night for the R's, but yet it's being treated like a loss. Wow. All right, so that's all I had to say. I got to finish up a few things tonight, so I'm going to close up shop. Come back on Saturday. We will be presenting Story Saturday, which, as I said earlier, we do every week, which is, let me see if I've got the, do I have the, give me a second. I'm going to call up the screenshot for it. But the this Saturday is going to be, like I said, Story Saturday. Every week, read a story. This Saturday, we're going to be doing story number 33 from Stories from the Great Challenge, which is The Eternal Ride of Brom Bones, which is, as I said before, Halloween story based on the Headless Horseman motif. And here's some art that I put together for the story and for the podcast. You can see here the cover of the story itself, which will be going up on all the various places to buy it. And this is it'll be the cover for the video podcast, and of course the audio podcast won't have one because it's audio. But anyway, come back Saturday. I'll read this for you. It'll be great. Otherwise, go to michaelkingswood.com/store. You can find all the books that I've written. Buy them, read them, love them, tell all your friends, and subscribe to this channel, whatever you're on, whether it's YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, who knows, whatever it is. The audio podcast. Let all your friends know what awesome things we're doing here and help spread the word. I appreciate it. I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me ramble. I will talk to you next time. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do.